Hello everyone, this is Chris from ScheduleBliss. So let's get started today setting up your first classes on your schedule and your first event. So we're gonna begin when we log in here at the home page. And to start scheduling our first classes, we're gonna go ahead and click on Schedule here in the top menu. And if you're getting started setting up your schedule, you'll probably have no classes scheduled on your site at the moment. But as you can see here in the test system, we've got quite a few things set up already. But let's assume that we would like to schedule a brand new class called Intro to Ashtanga Yoga, and we would like to schedule that class every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday at 1 p.m. And we'd like to choose a teacher to do that. So we'll begin here in the top left corner under Schedule Manager. You'll see that you've got Click to Schedule. So we click here to schedule, and we want to schedule a class. So we click on Class. And a window pops up giving us all the class types that we've got that we can schedule. Once again, if you just getting started setting up your schedule, you'll probably not have any class types here yet. That's okay. We're going to assume that we've got none and we'd like to add a new one. So we'll go ahead and click here on Create New Class Type. So as we said, we want to call this class Intro to Ashtanga Yoga. So we're going to go ahead and give it a name, Intro to Ashtanga Yoga. We can choose a level, and the level can be displayed on your public web page on your schedule if you'd like to use a system of levels to describe your classes. If you rather not display any kind of level information, you can turn that off. But let's assume that we're going to use the level information, and we're going to put here for a level beginners. Beginner. Description, we can give our class a brief description. This class will introduce you to the core concepts of Ashtanga Yoga. So once we've got that set up, we can go ahead and add our class type. So here you can see in our list, we've now got our Intro to Ashtanga Yoga class. So we need to create the class type before we can schedule the class. That's an important thing to remember. But now that we've created our class type, we can go ahead and schedule it. And the reason why this works so well is you may want to schedule the same type of class at multiple different times and days. So you want to be able to have the flexibility to do that. That's why you need to first create a class type before you schedule it. So let's go ahead and click on schedule now, because we actually want to put that class on the schedule. The first thing that we do when the scheduling window pops up is select our staff member. So I'm going to find my name over here. Let's assume that I'm going to be teaching this class. So I find my name, Chris. Go ahead and select it. Next thing I'm going to choose is the start date. So I'm going to go ahead and say that let's start this on Monday the 27th of January. And the end date, I'm not too sure yet how long I'll be teaching this class for, but let's say that I committed to teach it through December 31st. So the start and the end date is going to be the date that the class will become active, the start date, and the end date is going to be the last date that that class will be on the schedule. So as we mentioned, we want this class to run on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays at 1 p.m. So the way we do that is we go ahead and enable the class on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. The only thing to note is that if we want to list this class as a group running on those 4 days, the teacher needs to be the same. If we wanted to have a different teacher on each day, then we'd have to schedule the class individually. But since the teacher is the same for all of these days, we can go ahead and link it as a group. Now, the start time of the class doesn't have to be the same for each day, but the staff member does need to be the same. So we wanted to start our class at 1 p.m. and we wanted it to run through 2 p.m. So we're going to go ahead and set that up. So we could choose any start and any end times. They don't have to be the same. You have the flexibility in the system to have a different start and end time for each day. So the pay scale, how much the instructor is going to be paid for this class. We can go ahead and choose from our drop-down list, and these pay scales are obviously defined in the pay scales section. I'm going to select the flat rate 25. Staff member check-in access. You can set up your system so that your staff members can either have the permission to check in every class, or perhaps just permission to check in the classes that they're teaching or have been given permission to in the schedule. So let's go ahead and grant myself check-in access. Although I do want to point out that if you're the administrator, you don't need to specifically grant yourself check-in access because you've got access to check in all of the classes. So in fact, I don't need to enable that because my account, my Chris account, has the administrator access and doesn't need to be specifically given check-in access. So let's go ahead and schedule the class that we've created. And we can close out the class manager. So if you have a look now, at 1 p.m. on Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays and Sundays, we have a beginner level Intro to Ashtanga Yoga with Chris scheduled. And that's pretty much it. That's how we go ahead and schedule our first class. I wanted to point out that you can schedule as many classes as you like. Once you're done with this one, just go ahead, click to schedule again, and you can go ahead and start scheduling your second class.